The Perfect Seven, taken from the ALETHEON, Volume 2, the Divine Avataric Self-Revelation of His Divine Presence, Avatar, Adidas Samraj. The only by me revealed and given radical, or always at the root, reality way of Adidam, or Adidam Vishiradam, is the Divine Avataric seventh stage way of reality itself. The reality way of Adidam neither evolves, nor fulfills, nor perfects the ego I. The reality way of Adidam always only perfectly knows, and at last perfectly demonstrates the root motive of the heart, which is transcendental spiritual love, bliss, ecstasy, intrinsically transcending egoity itself in the self-nature, self-condition, and self-state of self-evidently divine reality itself. The intrinsically ego-transcending practice of the reality way of Adidam is a matter of the effortless, or root-activated and searchless, whole bodily recognition responsive devotional turning to me, thus intrinsically transcending and thereby always immediately surrendering egoic self-identification with the entire body-mind complex and all the conditions of experience, moment to moment. The intrinsically ego-transcending practice of the reality way of Adidam tacitly, always priorly, and always immediately, or moment to moment transcends all the experiential significance and content of even the most extraordinary sensations, perceptions, and conceptions. The intrinsically ego-transcending practice of the reality way of Adidam tacitly, always priorly, and always immediately, or moment to moment, transcends all the dimensions of physical and mental or psychic self-existence, or all the gross, subtle, and causal patterns of conditionally arising appearances. There is no discrete self-entity or separate ego I located in time and or space. There is no discrete self-entity or separate ego I moving through time and or space. There is no discrete self-entity or separate ego I changing in time and or space. There is only the intrinsically egoless, non-separate, indivisible, causal, and self-evidently divine self-nature, self-condition, and self-state of reality itself, which is self-existing and self-radiant, transcendental spiritual conscious light in, of, and as which all and all that conditionally arises is a mere and merely apparent and intrinsically non-necessary and intrinsically non-binding pattern and universally simultaneous cosmic process of time and space. By means of ecstatic communion and thus perfect coincidence with my divine avataric transcendental spiritual self-transmission of my intrinsically egoless, indivisible, perfectly acausal, transcendental spiritual, and self-evidently divine self-nature, self-condition, and self-state, my devotee perfectly knows that he or she is not a soul or a metaphysically separate entity born into the body-mind complex. By means of ecstatic communion and thus perfect coincidence with me, my devotee perfectly knows that he or she is not separately or egoically self-identified with any psychophysical condition. By means of ecstatic communion and thus perfect coincidence with me, my devotee perfectly knows at last, most perfectly, that he or she intrinsically, eternally, always already, and always immediately self-abides as indivisible love bliss fullness, perfectly self-inhering in the infinite self-radiance of self-existing, intrinsically egoless, indivisible, perfectly accursal, transcendental spiritual, and self-evidently divine conscious light, which I am. I am the perfect seven. Da, da, da.